Hello and welcome to another episode of First Journeys, a project that connects rookie FTC teams with first alumni to address real challenges during the competition through structured interviews. Today we have our fourth alumni FTC, Robert Roșu, alumni from TechnoZ. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Bogdan.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. So today's subject is electronics and wiring. I have 5 questions for you, and I hope that you will teach the rookie teams a very good lesson today. The first question is, what are the most common wiring mistakes FTC teams make?
I would say that the most common mistake comes from the first stage of thinking about the robot and 3D designing it. Most teams don't take in consideration where to put the cables and where to route them for the drivetrain for the complex systems like a turret or a sliders mechanism. In order to have proper wiring that doesn't disconnect or break through the competition, you have to engineer a certain way. You have to engineer their movement because if you just leave them and think that you'll do them once the robot is assembled, most of the time you won't succeed in having a reliable way of maintaining them.
Okay. The second question, what makes an electrical system reliable throughout an entire event?
As I've said in the first question, the first step is to consider them while you are 3D designing the robot. I would say that you have to make sure that you organize them on sections, like you have the cables for the drivetrain, you have the cables for a slider or an intake, for example, that you put on sliders, on outtake, or a turret. You have different section of cables that you organize together. So if you have a fault or on the intake, you know exactly what to unwrap and what to check. I would also say that using the proper connectors, soldering cables, and making sure that you have the data cables always apart from the power cables, and you don't necessarily have to put them in different uh, or a distance one from each other. You can use electrical tape to insulate the data cables so you don't get electrical noise from the power cables. That should be a very comprehensive advice because this is a very big mistake that many teams encounter. You have odometry fails or sensor reading fails because of this. You uh, you must not have any data cable that isn't wrapped in heat shrink or electrical tape. It's usually more accessible and easier to use. You must not put data cables directly on uh, aluminum or other steel parts on the robot, and also not near the power cables at all.
Okay. The third question, how should teams manage cables to avoid disconnects or damaged wires during matches?
So once you have a very sturdy way of fixing them on the robot, and you make sure that at every movement possible and at every speed possible that each robot or subsystem sustains, the cables are not ripping each other because this is one of the most encountered ways where cables fail. I would say using the first step would be actually to remove all the unnecessary connectors. Let's take a DC motor, for example. You have the motor and you have some bullet connectors, and then you have the connector that enters the control hub. Really, you don't need those bullet connectors. My advice would be to cut them and solder the cable at your needs, or if you don't want to solder or you are in a rush, you can use other electrical connectors that we will talk about at the next questions.
Okay. The next question, what tools, connectors, or wiring habits do you think every FTC team should use?
The most important and the most useful tool that you will need is a soldering station and other accessories necessary for soldering cables. This is the most clean and space efficient way to ensure proper electrical connection between the cables. You can do this for the big cables from the motors or battery, and also you can solder the small sensor cables. Uh, Moreover, you can use the Vago connectors that are industry standard in every electrical or electronic system. You can use the QQ1 series. That is the one that you should go for with the quick clamping because in this way you can use the wires that the flexible wires, not the uh, full filled ones with copper, the multi-filler wires. Um, I would recommend for the distribution of the current to not use the power distribution board I can find at Rev or Gobilla. I would definitely recommend to cut those XT30 connectors and use Vago to power from the battery to both control hubs and other servo uh, components like Rev or Gobilla. This is my way and the most safe way. It's also a little bit more efficient. You don't lose as much power, but in reality, there's not really a big power loss in these connectors. But they are a fail point because the XT30 is a sturdy connection, but in time it the plastic will get tired and will move much freely. So you have not perfect contacts or really get the XT30 connector out of it completely. So I would here wiring habits. I would say that the most important is to check these connectors every time and at every competition. And while the robot is powered on and connected to the phone or drive hub, move independently each X30 connection and see if the robot disconnects from the drive hub because even if it looks like it's good, um, there are many times where you have an imperfect contact. So that will be a fail point in a high contact match, let's say.
Okay, you kind of answered the last question, but I'm gonna put it again so it's more uh, direct. If you could give rookie tips one electrics tip before their first competition, what would it be?
So the first electronic step before a competition and before and while building a robot actually is to solder the cables and do not be afraid to do this because you can really get a soldering station and some cable from the uh, I don't know Dedeman or other place like this, and you can practice. And it's really not that complicated to solder two cables. This ensures that I don't know the proper connection and when you have a lot of cables and very tight spaces, do not have excess cables that you have to organize and reroute and improvise. It's the best way to solder them at the necessary length. In the future, you just cut the old soldering and you solder the new length necessary for that. I mean, it's not if you cut the motor and you solder it to one length, it is not definitive. You can always disconnect it. And I will also come back on the importance of checking every time the power connections on the robot before the competition, especially here at the as I said at the X30 connectors. The power switch is also a big fault uh, for the connectors and also for its system. It's not the best quality, so expect to destroy it during a season or have multiple ones. Some I've used 2 or 3 years without any problem. Some I've used 2 months and they were gone. And I think that that would be it. I've
Okay, thank you very much for participating today. I think you gave a very important lesson to the rookie teams, And thank you very much. Thank you all guys for watching, and we will see us again in the next episode. Bye bye.